Hey guys, Mike here. So another big green day in the market, or really just a mess in the market, because that price action day was crazy, but it is month end. And in month end, you always have a big move, usually lasts 30, 45 minutes. And that's exactly what we had. But we did wrap up September, and I'll show you the stats for that because it was one of the best ones we've ever seen in my lifetime. Also, we'll go over stocks like Nvidia, Tesla. We're going to look at Oracle, stuff to watch out for on that one, Hood as well, and then a few others, and of course, CoreWeave, right? I mean, that was the stock of the day. We'll talk about why. We'll get into a lot of detail on that one. But you can see right here, and we'll also touch on the shutdown. I'll show you what I mean when I say it. Normally, it doesn't affect anything, but I haven't seen anything saying we're avoiding one yet, but you'll get to see it. This is one of the best Q3s ever, as I said, for the S&P, 7.8%. This goes back to 1970, so there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 since 1970, better than this one. You can see on government shutdowns, usually it'll consolidate. Clearly did not consolidate. In a way, you can say we're in a range, right? But normally months after the shutdown, I mean, you can clearly see they're all positive, okay? So usually you get whatever you can lose back. It just creates volatility. Again, the layoffs, as far as if government employees resign or whatever it is, that's a whole different ball game, and according to where we're at in the cutting cycle and everything for rates. But you look at CoreWeave, we finally reached up in this box right here, which we had talked about. Big spike up. It was up almost 15% at one time today. Got another big contract, this time with Meta. This came in pre-market, $14 billion deal with Meta. And this is a big deal because for those who don't know, they're into the data centers. That's what it's all about, the data centers. And so, of course, now they power Nvidia, OpenAI, Microsoft, Meta. Revenues forecasted multiply between 4 to 5x in just 3 years. Nvidia backstops guarantees unused capacity through 2032. Just signed a new mega deal with Meta and Google. 36 billion plus in backlog with fresh mega cap deals with Google and Meta. Sam Altman even said CoreWeave is irreplaceable. And so that's what this is all about. So this actually is a company which carries a lot of debt, but also has a lot of revenue. And so when you're looking for more upside, look at 148.21 to the upside. Again, is it going to come down close on this gap like it did right here? It could. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going into a new month. Obviously closed out this month. Pretty hot, I guess you could say. Not really at all-time highs, but very close, as you'll see when we look at SPY and QQQ. And so we'll see which one we get tomorrow, right? Will we dip down, hit the golden pocket, maybe bounce from there, or we continue this momentum up and completely mitigate that daily fair value gap, maybe even move higher to the next FIM level. It's around 154. And again, don't forget, this is in Nvidia's portfolio, which we talked about. It's like 91% of their stock portfolio is CoreWeave. So, you know, they have a decent chunk of it as well. And so we'll see if they can continue to pile up the contract stuff as we go. But this is definitely an AI play for sure. And when it hit the bottom of that channel, it's just taken off ever since. Now, speaking of Nvidia, clearly set a new all-time high today. They were really pushing this one hard. If it does come down, just watch that like 184.10 area right there, which was the previous all-time high, to see if it holds. Again, we'll put some levels here just in case, because you never know what the heck we're up against here. But you'll see if the previous all-time high holds, you can put it as support. But you can clearly see they were pushing this thing right at open with the call premium, 162 million. And, you know, from 0 to 120 million by lunchtime. And so they were just running this thing up. And of course, you know, what does that mean for Tesla? That means it ain't going to be doing nothing until the end of the day. Okay, so Tesla was doing nothing but red until he finally got to the end of the day. Again, these don't move together. Tesla's interesting, though, I got to tell you, because, again, it just keeps sitting here in this range. And we know usually that means it's going to make a big move in one direction or the other. Depends on what Nvidia is going to do, really. If it moves up, 464.58 is your next level. If you look at what that is, it's right there. And so, again, that's not all-time highs. All-time highs is just one level above, and it's not even that far away. What's crazy about Tesla, I mean, you're sitting there with all-time highs right there. It can make that jump in one day if it wanted to, because that's only like 9% up, and we've seen Tesla do crazy days like that. I mean, that wouldn't be a shock or anything. But a bunch of liquidity to the downside as well. And so if Nvidia starts pumping, semis start pumping, just look for this to come down. See if it'll hold that 420 area right there, which is the bottom of this range. And we'll also put a trend line here, because if that breaks, I think that's pretty much what's going to happen right here. And the reason why, it really is up to Thursday, okay? What's the event coming Thursday? The sales, okay? So remember, tomorrow they end the $7,500 tax credits. They also, on Thursday, report deliveries, and of course, deliveries in the past, right? So that's really the big one. How's it going to react off deliveries right here? what the market's going to think of when it comes to $75 tax credit going away, robotics. Maybe we get some news on that. So that's what we really got to find out with Tesla here. Hood, again, this trend line, I want to see if it gets hit. It hit the next fib level up as I started to record this, and then at the very end of the day, it surged. I'll show you where it ended. That was a fib level we were talking about yesterday. Next fib level is around 152. Also corresponds with that trend line right there. Still waiting on the third touch. Got a lot of liquidity below. Again, it's pulling what I call a Palantir, where gravity just doesn't really matter, and it just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing right now. And we pull up the RSI and the MACD. I mean, you can see it's getting overbought, sure, but that just means momentum. I mean, if you look back in the past, when it got overbought, it just kept going. I mean, that's just the way it is sometimes. So just because something gets up in there, doesn't mean it's going to stop, especially these kind of stocks. You see the MACD is not curling over at all or anything. So that's what you're really looking for. And this just has a bunch of momentum behind it. It's on the S&P now, right? So big buyers coming in. You got Hood right here, as you can see. I mean, just green candle after green candle. It actually closed above this fib right at the end of the day. The last 15 minutes, it pushed up. So, we'll see if it's going to reach that trend line for any form of a pullback or not. Oracle, I want to talk about this one because this one's down after its Nvidia moment, about 20%. It's in a discount now. A few important things about this one. One, you can see the RSI, it cannot cross below 50. It's sitting right at 50 right now. You already got your bearish MACD cross. If that closes below 50, that RSI, look to the left. That's what happened to it last time. Okay, you're going to get to see more selling on Oracle. Now, the other thing to look at, you can see that was probably about an extra, 9% move down. And that would just about, I think, close that gap or get to that trend line. But also, when I look at this, I like to measure out and see, how much of the gap is actually closed. And when you pull the fibs on there, you can see exactly 50% of the gap is closed. And sometimes what you'll get when 50% of a mega gap like this, especially on an AI type stock, fills, you'll get your bounce and it just goes because you're in a discount window for people to buy. It's 50% of the gap fill, and sometimes you will get that bounce. Okay, I haven't seen that. I'd rather prove itself and see some market structure build out on this thing. And again, when you look over here, the full, and the real question is, is it this channel right here come down? What would be the perfect scenario? Is it coming down, obviously hitting that trend line once again, getting down between the golden pocket 0.79 fib and previous all-time high, which would be great confluence, and then bouncing. That would be nice, okay? But that's a wish list thing to see because you saw the major, if you remember that chart I showed you, as far as what they're expecting here over the next 3 to 5 years in revenues. So, and the big backlog they got. So anyway, another one's going to be Spot right here. It fell out of this channel, which started in December 2022. So almost a full 3-year channel almost. And so again, I want to see it close down below out of it for the first time. And so I want to see if this thing's going to continue to drop, maybe into that box area if we still continue to get weakness on this. But you can see every time it bounced. I mean, it was like a 10% pump every single time, maybe 15 to 20 on that big one right there. But it kept holding. And so it's like a lot of these that are breaking these ascending trend lines. This one just happened to break a channel. And normally when you break a big, long-term channel like that, you do get to see more downside. But it's a very popular stock. And so that would be where I'd be looking. If it comes down, watch 657, 88, see if that holds. Really somewhere between 627, 658, I guess. But definitely going to be watching this one to see if they just push this one back up into the channel or we continue to see weakness now that's broken that channel. And then, of course, looking at SPY and QQQ, you can see it closed above that area. So we'll take that off right there. It's very close to all-time highs here. Again, coming into a new month, we'll see what they want to do with it and everything. But to the downside, looking at that 661 to actually hold right there if we do come down. And then, of course, once we break all-time highs, again, no resistance whatsoever on this one. Did close the RTH gap this morning and then skyrocketed. You can see in the afternoon right there, just took right on off because it really was just in this range of just doing crazy chopping, but and some pretty big moves intraday all day long. So, looking at the Qs here, again, one of its best Septembers in quite a long time. No doubt about that. And it was fun to watch healthcare and tech actually run at the same time. But again, the Qs still technically has a double top. Again, did I expect it to play out? Nope. Just like I said, just got put on there because that's what we got to talk about. But this one's even closer to all-time highs right now. So, we'll see if they're going to continue to run the Max 7 up. Again, if they do, then, well, guess what? A lot of them are in a bounce position right now. Then guess what? Then we're going to all-time highs again, okay? And so far, there's been nothing to derail it yet. We're going to find out when it comes to this data, because we got a lot of employment data, ADP non-farm employment change tomorrow, final manufacturing PMI, ISM manufacturing PMI, ISM manufacturing prices, construction spending, and then crude oil inventories. Okay, so we'll see if the market cares at all about this. Again, the job market has been softer, but you're starting to go into positive seasonality going through October's. It can be iffy the first couple weeks, but then November is supposed to be super bullish. So we're going to find out all this demand that was supposedly pulled forward and everything else, if that's going to end up affecting the market or not. So let's just see how it goes, see if AI keeps leading the way or not, and just be nimble, okay? So please hit that like, subscribe button on your way out. Thank you for signing up for the membership. Left the McDonald's combo at $7.99 a month, or you can just pay up front and just hit the first link down the bottom if that interests you. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another fun one.